Coach, just the depth that you have compared to, if you can look at the big picture compared to what it was, 4 years ago when you came in, how much has that grown?
Oh, obviously, I'm proud of the guys I've got in the room. Proud of the guys that started out with us, when we started this journey 4 years ago. It is, rewarding. Hopefully that these guys see improvement in their game, improvement in the D-line play. At the same time, just knowing that we still have so much, room for improvement. But it is definitely good having a great nucleus that can actually set the tone and set the culture, that can start to police itself. Somewhat with the young guys that are coming in and say, this is the way we do things, this is how we're trying to build this thing. And we're trying to build it on a solid foundation. We're not trying to build it on sand. We want to be on a solid foundation that can last. And that's what we wanted to do, so it can be tested, through the storms. And obviously there's a lot of storms, and at times, still to this point, we haven't risen up and played to the level that we need to play at when we get in those storms. When we're dealing with the Alabamas, the Georgias, the Floridas, all that on a consistent basis. That's truly where you're going to be judged at the end of the day.
Rodney, you've obviously coached this league for a long, long time, but what do you like about the characteristic of this room? Maybe when you compare it to some of your other defensive lines through the years?
Well, I think they're really, working at, moving the needle in the right direction with less resistance. Everybody, they always want to say, well, you coach them hard, you're hard on this and that. Well, this is a hard game. Life is hard. So what you're trying to do, you're trying to prepare them for those difficult times. And even though I know they say, well, you're a dinosaur, you played in the dinosaur age. But when I played, Coach Dodd's philosophy, he wanted practice to be the hardest thing we did. He wanted the game to be easy. And that same kind of philosophy that I want to relate to these guys. I want them to really work their butts off, prepare to be champions, and then on Saturday, be able to go out there and just reap the rewards of their labor. So that's what we're trying to stress to them. That's what we're working towards. And like I said, we still got so much room for improvement.
Patrick, did Ben?
Coach, one of your young guys is Tyreek Hill, obviously coming off the injury. What do you see from the camp, and has he sort of picked back up to where he was a year ago when he was still pretty new?
Well, Weathersby, obviously is a very talented young man. I think right now, we talked about him in the personnel meeting the other day. I definitely think, skill-wise, I think he's inching closer to what he was before he got that injury and had everybody so excited. But right now he's probably not playing as fast as he was just because his head's swimming, learning all the different calls, and then dealing with me now as Coach G on the field versus him being in the rehab room where, you're checking on him and all that. It's just a different, pressure, resistance, all that. So, I think right now he's learning, and he's feeling his way through, but he does flash, and he does show signs that he's going to be a really good football player.
Rodney, there's been a lot of praise surrounding your room this offseason. How have you seen your guys and your position group continue to work in the midst of all the praise and the accolades from the outside?
Who's praising him? I'm not. So we just try to block out all the outside noise. The one thing about it, when you look at that film, when you study it and you come in there every day and you really look at it, and you got to be your own biggest critic, and it's no different from me as a coach. Every day that I'm going out there in the field, I'm working to be a better coach today than I was yesterday. Same thing that they're working for as players. And, we all have a lot of room that we need to improve in a lot of areas. If they're going to heap this kind of stuff on you, then you got to prepare for it. That's the thing. Like I told them, man, this is not going to be easy. to whom much is given, much is required. So, we've got to prepare ourselves to go out there and be able to play at a championship level. And that is the challenge every single day.
Reese, then Austin.
Coach, you back here, in the back here. You spoke about the veterans on the team, on your line. What kind of impact does Omar Thomas have as a leader with your position group?
Big O's an incredible young man. He's a great leader. He stands for all the things that, a VFL is, and he's a great young man. And, he does exemplify what we are trying to be here and trying to get Tennessee back, to the status that Tennessee is used to being. And I think he's done an outstanding job of showing those leadership skills. Now, obviously, he's got to continue to elevate his game because, obviously, the better player you are, the better leader you are. So we need for him to up his game, and then all those things will even have, much more meaning when he says it.
Rodney, a couple of the offensive linemen talked about a couple of days ago the versatility of the defensive linemen. They're not all the same guy, right? They all have different attributes that make them special. One's a speed guy, one's a power guy. When you're a coach, how much easier does that make your job when you can kind of look at it and go, okay, hey, we need to go a little more speed on this set of downs, or a little more power on this set of downs, and kind of throw different things at the opposing team?
Well, obviously, as a coach, you're trying to help your players, fill their toolbox up with all the different tools. They may use this tool for this, use that tool for that, but they gotta have the different tools in their toolbox. And obviously, you try to look at guys' strengths, and you try to coach them up to, hey, play this way according to this skill set. This is something that's really your skill set versus what he's doing over here. That's his skill set, so it may be a little bit different. Elijah Simmons is going to be a different type player than Bryson Easton, just because of skill set. So, you're just trying to help them sharpen, their tools, and then, they'll be able to go in that box and pull out what they need at that particular time, based off of what they're getting schematically from who they're playing against and all that, and, so they can be successful.
Vince, then Adam.
Coach, what have you seen from David Hobbs now that he had a full offseason in your program?
I think Hobbs is continuing to grow. Obviously, I think his play strength has improved. Obviously, he's a big, long, athletic kid that's shown toughness. For him to be able to come in and play in this league as much as he did last year inside, I was impressed by him doing that because, obviously, I thought he was going to be more of a defensive end than last year, but because of injuries and all that, he didn't bucket at all. He went in and played inside and did a decent job for us. And I just continue to see his play elevate, and he's going to be a really good player down the road going for us.
Coach, you said you want your players to be good self-critics. James Pearce is coming off a great season. How good of a self-critic has he been?
I think James has grown. Obviously, just searching for that consistency from him. And talk to him, constantly, about being the CEO of his brand and being consistent. He just can't ride that roller coaster, up and down. He's very, 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 very talented. He's very smart. He can be elite. But, now he has to make sure he's that every day. He can't pick and choose when he's going to be a pro. He's got to be a pro every day.
Noah and Elliott.
Coach, what do you guys see out of Jackson Moy when you were looking into the transfer portal and just kind of what he brought to the room?
And obviously, I was really excited, about Jackson when he went in the portal and us recruiting him and all that. Obviously, I had one plan for him. He came in and he's probably exceeded what I had in mind. So, so he sort of deviated my plan. But, I think Jackson's going to be a really good player for us. And obviously, he's going to be a tremendous leader. He's going to be able to locker room, from everybody. His teammates respect him, they like him, all of them do. So, I couldn't be more excited to have him in my room than any other guys.
Coach, what has this group taught you about themselves in the past 6 days of fall camp?
That we need a lot more work, that we've got to really improve, that we've got to get in much better shape, in football playing shape. We've got to, like I told them today after we finished running, obviously we're in great shape. We'll be more mentally tough. We'll be more physically tough. And that's gotta be our challenge. We gotta put ourselves in a position where we're not beating ourselves, all right? We've gotta go out there and be able to challenge our opponents to beat us. And we can't beat ourselves, whether it be mentally or physically. And that's gotta start with, in the classroom, obviously our football IQ, improving there, but also getting ourselves in the best physical shape that we can possibly be in. That we can go out there and play 4 quarters of championship football, and that we can play the 4th quarter just like we started the 1st quarter, and be able to finish in the games that really, really count.
Last 2, page number.
Coach, back here. It seems a point of emphasis this year is being able to rotate guys throughout the games. How much has that been a model that you've been focusing on in your line to be able to rotate guys during games to get you to that championship level?
Well, obviously my whole career has been about rotating. So, I played 10 to 12 guys everywhere I've ever been. So if you look at my history, my thing is just always trying to develop enough guys that we can play at that championship level. But that's something, that's my philosophy. That's always been my philosophy. Hopefully that we're going to just improve our play, So I do think right now we probably have more guys than what we've had here in the past to be able to do that. So I'm excited about that. I hope that we can stay healthy, and I hope that we can continue to improve on the little things, because that's what it's going to come down to. It's just the little things. If we're going to chase greatness, we've got to improve in the little areas. Those little minute things that we think are not that important, but they are very important when you're playing against high-level competition.
Coach, how different is Joshua Josephs now compared to where he was a year ago this time? And how different are you going to be at the strong side defensive end with the different collection of bodies you have to work with of different type guys?
When Josh is with Leo.
Right, I know that.
Okay, yeah, but Josh is closer now to what he was when he first got here. Where, last year he sort of, took a dip, and sort of, didn't, I guess maybe went into that sophomore lull, where now he's coming back more energized, more focused, more attention to detail. I think he's put on some really good weight. I think he's improved his play strength. I think he's improved his power and his explosiveness. So I'm excited, about, this Josh Joseph that's here right now. I really am. And then, the strong side defensive end, we've got some good guys there. You got Bailey and Wes who do a really good job of complementing each other. That are very different somewhat, but they do a very good job of complementing each other. Then Jenkins has had a really good camp, going forward, and then you got Weathersby right there with him. So I'm excited about the guys. It's just now continuing to move the needle in the right direction.
Thank you, Coach.
Thank y'all. Have a good day.